Hi, folks. Welcome to today's webinar on a trainee symposia series preview, what to expect at the 2026 SLEEP meeting. Really thrilled to have you all join. We're just going to allow a couple moments for everyone to make their way into the Zoom.
All right, Gabby, is it okay if we get started?
Yep, you're all good. Sorry, my mic was off. You are all good.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. We're happy that you're able to join us today. We're really excited to tell you a little bit about this upcoming sleep meeting, at least as it pertains to all of the sleep trainees. So today is really just a preview of all of the different trainee activities that we will be having. We'll also give you a preview of some of the things that you can expect, in addition to just all the different training activities. So, if you don't know, my name is Dave Reichenberger. I'm the current Sleep Research Society training member at large. I'm currently also a postdoctoral research fellow at Oregon Health and Science University. Kat?
Yeah, hi everyone. So happy to be here with you. I'm Kat Kennedy. I'm a postdoc at the University of Arizona, and I'm the current trainee member at large elect. So I'll be stepping into the role next year.
She's going to do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So, today we'll be discussing many things. We'll first be discussing the different trainee awards that you can apply for. We'll then step into talking about all the different programming. So, if you don't know, there are 2 days specifically built for trainees. That's going to be on Saturday and Sunday, so June 13th and 14th this year. We'll also discuss a little bit of ways that you can network at the conference. Kat will describe the Sleep Pals program, which is an excellent way for first time attendees to be paired with someone who's a little bit more experienced to serve as their guide and really learn how to navigate this ginormous conference. And then finally, we'll wrap up with some current Sleep Research Society opportunities that you can join, and we can discuss potential ways to participate in the community at large and continue to remain in contact with other trainees within the society. So first on, we'll discuss the trainee day, part one, just real quick. That's going to include two significant parts. There's going to be the grant writing workshop, and then there's the actual trainee event, which is followed by the trainee social event. And then Sunday, we kick off the trainee symposia series, and that is followed by, in the evening, the kickoff to the proper sleep conference with Club Hypnos. So first, let's discuss the trainee awards. We have a handful of different awards that you may be eligible for. For most of these awards, they require you to be a Sleep Research Society member, as well as being of trainee status. But each award is a little bit different, so you need to pay close attention to the eligibility requirements just to make sure that you can indeed apply for them. And the deadline to apply for all of these awards is going to be at the beginning of March. You can also scan on some of these slides the QR code, and that should link you to the respective form or site for all the information that you may need. So the first award that you could apply for, if you are submitting an abstract for presentation, you can apply for the Trainee Merit Award. This will provide registration for the SLEEP 2026 conference. Please note that in order to apply for this award, you must submit a statement of your research role for the project and include a statement from your mentor. You must also describe your next steps in training. The first time attendee award is intended to involve more people who've never attended the SLEEP conference. And so for this award, you have to be a non-member of the society, but also a trainee and have not ever previously attended a SLEEP meeting. And if you apply for this award and you are selected, you'll receive a year of Sleep Research Society membership and registration costs for this year's conference. So in order to apply for this, you need to provide a description of your interest in sleep and circadian rhythms. This is just a small essay, very quick, and then a description of your career goals and how attending SLEEP aligns with these career goals. The next award is the Diversity Travel Award. This will offer up to $2,000 of reimbursement for registration fees, travel, and lodging costs associated with attending the conference. And in order to apply for this, you must attend the Trainee Symposia series lectures on Sunday, and you need to provide a description of your commitment or your advocacy for diversity and inclusion in sleep and circadian research. And then the final award is the Undergraduate Trainee Travel Award, which will award up to $1,000 in reimbursement. And you must be an undergraduate, you must be a Sleep Research Society member, and you need to provide a description of your career plans after you complete your undergraduate experience, describe your interests in the field of sleep at large, and then also describe how receiving this award will benefit you and your future career in sleep or some adjacent field. And then finally, you'll indicate whether you'd like to participate in the grant writing workshop. This is fantastic for graduate students and postdoctoral fellows who are beginning to prepare grants. So the only real thing you need to provide here is committing to attending the entire workshop, which is Saturday morning on June 13th. Next, we'll transition into the different types of program that we have at SLEEP. We're really proud of this year, and we're so excited for you all to see and attend all of these different sessions that we've put together. So there are a handful of programs. We have the Trainee Symposia series, which is all of Sunday morning. We have the Trainee Network and Development Suite sessions, which are just sessions sprinkled throughout the conference after the weekend. We have the trainee social event. This is going to be on Saturday after our Saturday trainee event. Kat will discuss the Sleep Pals program, which we already described a little bit. And this year we're offering the grant writing workshop. Next year, you can look forward to potentially attending the leadership development workshop. So the Trainee Symposia series. This is a 2-day series. I can't emphasize that enough. This Saturday session is meant to just increase the sense of community and the cohortship among trainees. It's to provide an opportunity for those who are arriving to the conference early to really just begin networking, finding people that you get along with, and creating friendships that you can have to rely on the rest of the conference week. So Saturday programming will include those networking opportunities. It'll include a couple panels. We have a data blitz in mind, as well as recognizing those who receive any of the aforementioned awards. The SRS president will give a keynote. And then finally, we'll have the social event. This is what the schedule currently looks like. All of this information is just subject to change, but it's not going to change significantly from what you're seeing on this screen here. So you can see that we have the grant writing workshop Saturday morning, And then the rest of Saturday is filled with goodies. And then on Sunday, we have the Trainee Symposia series. And then, Kat, would you like to share a little bit more information about the social event this year?
Yeah, so this will take place right after the kind of day concludes on Saturday. So hopefully by that point, you will have got to meet lots of other trainees, heard some of the panels that we have available, and then a short walking distance away from the convention center is Cross Street Market. And so we've selected this as the venue this year because there are lots of different vendors housed within this one place. So there are lots of different dietary restrictions, right, that we all have and different preferences for things. So we try to accommodate all of those different preferences by having lots of options available. So you can scan this QR code and check out what Cross Street has available. But that will be immediately after the afternoon's activities on Saturday. So, taking a dive now into what you can expect on Sunday. So, the main trainee symposia series. We have 5 different tracks available. They are basic sleep, circadian science, professional development, sleep and behavior, and sleep disorders. And what I think is so great about the Trainee Symposia series is that you can really kind of chop and change between different tracks. So, if you are a basic scientist, but you'd actually like to attend some of the professional development sessions, then you can definitely do that. You can attend whatever it is you'd like. And it's a nice way if you're going to spend the rest of the conference, in scientific sessions that are really focused on things that you're interested in, the kind of research you do. This is a really nice way to actually mix things up a bit on the Sunday before the main conference kicks off. So I'll kind of do a run through and tell you what we have planned so far. These are mostly all sorted by this stage, but just please note that these might be a bit subject to change. There might be an additional speaker that hops on to some of these different panels that we have set up. So, kicking things off with the basic sleep track, the first session on Sunday morning will be sleep and the glymphatic system. So, for those of you who are interested in glymphatic function, how this works, what the relationship is with sleep, how to like different research methods to look at glymphatic flow, and how to visualize the data, this would be a great session to attend. The second session for the basic sleep track is multimodal insights into sleep and memory. So, a really exciting panel that will really just be focused on the full spectrum from animal models through to humans, how we can be using different strategies to look at memory. The third one is a really exciting one. I think this might be quite popular given the era of big data that we're in now. So, really just focused on how to be using big data. If you are just trying to dip your toe in the water, this might be a really good way to do so. Switching to the circadian science track. So the first session that we have lined up is really tried and true, looking at how to measure rest activity rhythms across the lifespan. So thinking about how to use some of these techniques in your own research and maybe thinking outside the box a little bit. For the second one, again, another really hot topic right now, looking at the timing of things, right? So not just when we sleep and are awake, but also the timing of our different behaviors, including meal timing and physical activity. So this is a great session to attend if you're thinking about daily behaviors. And the third session in this track is, tried and true circadian session, thinking all about light exposure across the lifespan and how that impacts circadian rhythms. For the professional development track, we have, again, another really hot topic, given that we're in the era of AI. This is really just focused on how we can use AI, both in the research that we do, as well as ethical uses of how to incorporate AI when we're communicating science or writing grants or writing manuscripts and things. Where is the line between what's ethical and unethical? And I think this will be really great. We have Sean Drummond here, who is the current editor-in-chief of Sleep Advances, and Sarah McNamara, who is a publisher at Oxford University Press. So they have a wealth of knowledge between the two of them that will, I'm sure, provide much food for thought. For the second session for the professional development track, we have a session all about data visualization, again, from two titans in the field, Orfeo Buxton, former editor-in-chief of Sleep Health, and Emmanuel Mignot. And this will be really just some opportunities to think about how to maybe think outside the box. So not only is it important to be doing the research, but also really communicating those findings. What are the best ways to do that, especially with sophisticated circadian data? So again, if you're really interested in sort of broadening your skill set, thinking about things differently, this would be a really great session to attend. And then the third session for the professional development track is really building bridges in sleep science. So engaging communities, whether you are a researcher or a clinician, how to maybe diversify your population, how to ensure that the care that you would like to disseminate into the community is reaching the people who need it most. I think this will be a really fantastic session for, again, trying to think a bit outside the box, think creatively. For the first session of our sleep and behavior track, we have two real leading women's health experts talking about what we know and what we don't know and how we might be able to answer those questions when it comes to the big outstanding things we don't understand yet on sleep and women's health. And the second session, again, I think this will be a really interesting, exciting one to attend. It's all about climate change, the climate change's impact on sleep, both due to increasing temperatures as well as things like climate anxiety or the impacts of pollution. So again, a really hot topic right now. And then the third session will be focused on childhood sleep and, how sleep during childhood affects childhood, adolescence, as well as sleep across the lifespan. And we have the fabulous Mary Cascadden and Lucy Hale being there to present on this one. So that'll be a real treat. And then for sleep disorders, the final track that we have, the first session will be focused on non-pharmacologic interventions for insomnia. So thinking beyond CBTI alone, what else is available? What do we know? What do we still need to understand in terms of improving insomnia? The second session, again, another hot topic right now, is sleep and psychedelics. So what do we know about the relationship between those two? What questions remain? And where might the field be going? And then lastly, the final session in this track will be focused on circadian rhythm disorders. So not just sleep disorders, but how can we develop the appropriate tools that we need to be able to decrease patient burden for individuals with circadian rhythm disorders. Immediately following that whole morning of all of the different lectures and getting everyone excited before the conference kicks off, we have the trainee networking hour. So hopefully if you've attended the Saturday sessions as well, you've had a really good chance to mix with other trainees. But this is really nice. It follows all of the kind of panel discussions and lectures. It's a lunch hour, hour and a half or so, to really just meet other people, strengthen those connections that you've made that day and the day prior before transitioning to the main scientific sessions for the conference. There's also Club Hypno. So after the sessions on Sunday afternoon, if the conference has overwhelmed you by that point because there's so many people, then you can retreat to what is a little bit more of an intimate setting. So it's just Sleep Research Society members in Club Hypnos. And this is a really great chance to interact with so many different people, from other SRS trainees that, again, you've hopefully strengthened connections with throughout Saturday and Sunday's activities, right the way through to members of the board of directors. So it really is it spans the full spectrum, and it's a really fun atmosphere where there's often a data blitz, there's some free food available, there's some presentations, and award winners are acknowledged and things. And it's just a really great chance to mix with all sorts of different people that are members of the society. And so now just pivoting to think about some other trainee networking opportunities and other opportunities that we have available. So throughout the conference, in addition to the activities that we have on Saturday and Sunday, we have the trainee networking and development suite available. And this is great, especially if you can't make the Saturday and Sunday events. But even if you can, these are very different. They are great opportunities for FaceTime with some real experts in the field about things that matter. And it's a very sort of informal setting around a table with some lunch, getting to chat about things that matter. So one of these will take place on Monday between 11:45 and 12:45. So during that lunch hour, one will take place on Tuesday and one will be on Wednesday. We have a session lined up for how to secure funding, which feels, critical now more so than ever before. So thinking about how to have the best chances of getting funding through traditional avenues, as well as thinking outside the box, some, potential funders that you hadn't considered before. So that'll be a great session. We have another one on how to navigate the transition from graduate school. So what comes next, how to navigate the job market, whether you're thinking about going for a postdoc or if you've postdoced and now you're thinking about faculty or industry. We've got a group that will help you kind of talk those things through, the opportunity to ask questions. And then the last one is all about mentoring. So 3 outstanding mentors, really just having the opportunity to ask questions about how to establish new mentors, how to establish that real network that you need for success throughout your career. Another opportunity for networking is, of course, at the poster sessions throughout the conference. So this is an opportunity to present your work, of course, but also, there are some big names who will be stood at a poster, sometimes without anyone there. And so when you're not presenting, this is a great chance to really go up and get that FaceTime with people. Look for the people who are doing the work that you're doing, or work that you're interested in doing. And this is such a great chance to just ask more questions than you get at the end of one of the big scientific sessions talks, where they're running over and there isn't enough time allotted for questions all the time. So this is a great chance to have that FaceTime with different researchers. And then just really quickly, some things to think about when it comes to networking. So, we call it the 10 commandments of networking, but just some things to keep in mind as you're looking to establish connections. So first of all, attend the conference, attend as many conferences as you can, because there's no substitution for actually having FaceTime with people in these really organic settings, like networking events and in the poster hall. Number 2, introduce yourself. It might be nerve-wracking, especially if it's someone who is a big name in the field, but people love talking about their research. So, do a bit of background work, figure out what they do, have some great questions lined up, and just go and introduce yourself. The third thing is have a question in mind. If you are interested in reaching out to a potential grad school mentor or postdoc mentor, at least have some idea of what it is that they're thinking about, the type of research that they're doing at the moment. So come prepared. Number 4 is manage expectations regarding what the mentor will do for you. So, really have some idea of the fact that a lot of these mentors have a lot of things going on that they're trying to juggle all at once. So have realistic expectations about what's possible. Number 5, join networking groups. So we have so many of these, as I hope we've conveyed so far, opportunities for networking throughout the conference, and the SRS provides these throughout the year as we lead up to the conference. But think outside the box, try and do as much as you can within your institution and within the field as a whole, just to meet others that might be worth collaborating with in the future. Number 6 is remember that it's better to give than to receive. So really think about what you can do to foster those connections with others and to move projects forward in a way that can help pick up the slack when others maybe don't have the bandwidth. Number 7, communicate clearly. This goes without saying in any relationship that you're trying to foster. Just make sure that you're communicating well with mentors, with collaborators, with other students in the lab. It makes everything run more smoothly. Number 8 is do what you promised and on time. So just make sure that which leads into number 9, not over-promising and under-delivering. And then finally, number 10, say thank you. A thank you goes a long way. So just express gratitude. If you're meeting people throughout the conference, especially potential mentors, really just thank them for their time, because a lot of them are spread very thin. So it can go a long way. And then, as David kind of alluded to at the beginning, we have a really fantastic Sleep Pals program that you will hear more about in March time, when we'll be sending out more information. Essentially, the idea with this is that if it's your first time attending the sleep meeting, or maybe even a first time attending a conference, it can be kind of overwhelming. And there's something so nice about having at least one familiar face. So this program was created so that we could partner up first time attendees with people who've attended the conference before, who are also trainees. And so what you can expect is to complete a form that will ask you to express your interest or rate different things on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever we sort of decide to send out, to really make sure that we're matching people up based on mutual interests, right? Because the idea is that it would be nice to have a friend throughout the conference, but also ideally after that, someone that you might end up staying in touch with throughout your career. And this has been really successful in the past. So we're really hoping to foster those connections. And the idea is that you'd be partnered up with someone who's attended the conference before. We'd encourage you to set up a quick call or a Zoom beforehand, just to establish that connection. And then you'll meet up at some of the trainee events at Sleep and ideally grab a coffee together or grab dinner together and be able to chat away about all of your mutual interests and things. And I think I will pass this back over to you, David.
Thank you, Kat. Yeah, so Kat gave you a ton of information. I know it's a little overwhelming. Uh, this session is being recorded, and so even though we're running through a lot of this information, you can rewatch this, you can pause, you can read all the different descriptions of sessions and who's actually going to be presenting at each. And that also remains true for what will continue. I see that there's one question already asked, but if you have questions, please continue to ask those and we'll address those at the end of the session when there's time. So the rest of this time, we want to talk about different opportunities to get engaged with the Sleep Research Society, as well as to stay engaged with other trainees like yourself. So this is a great opportunity to get your foot in the door with volunteering and providing a service to return what you've received in the past back to the Sleep Research Society. So there are opportunities for you to volunteer for different standing committees, to become the next Kat or David as a trainee member at large elect. There's an opportunity to help put together the Trainee Day Symposia series sessions by being part of the subcommittee for that. And then we'll also discuss the Trainee Journal Club and the Sleep Advances Trainee Publication Fee Waiver, both of which are great ways to get published within the field of sleep. And then we'll highlight the Trainee Job Board. So these first two are due late March. So the SRS Standing Committee, we have a bunch of different active committees that you can apply to participate in. This includes the Communications Committee, committees on the Conflict of Interest, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility Committee, the Membership Committee, the Pipeline Development Committee, Scientific Review Committee, and the Trainee Education Advisory Committee. If you go to that QR code or to the link that we have on the slide, you can check out more details on each of these different committees. And then when you go to apply, you'll rank your preference for each different committee. This is a fantastic way to really get involved with the Sleep Research Society at large. But if you want to be involved with the Trainee Day and helping support other trainees such as yourself, possibly the best way is by joining the Trainee Education Advisory Committee and or becoming the Sleep Research Society trainee member at large elect. So for this, you'll have to have attended sleep previously, been part of the SRS Trainee Symposia Series subcommittee, continue to be a trainee for the next 2 years, and provide information on your background, your experiences in leadership, and what you hope to bring to the table as a trainee member at large. We also advise that you provide a letter from your mentor supporting your application. So the SRS Trainee Symposia Subcommittee, this is great if you just want to get your foot in the door, dip your toes into participating. All you have to do is have previously attended one trainee symposia series and then commit to attending this year's trainee symposia series. Um, that is next year's, excuse me. Um, and then some other opportunities is the trainee journal club. This is a way to author summaries or critical reviews or discussions of recently published manuscripts in the Journal of Sleep. And I believe this might include sleep advances as well, but I'm not certain. Um, the Sleep Advances trainee publication fee waiver is a fantastic way to publish your research in the open access journal Sleep Advances. Your publication fee will be completely waived. You just need to apply for this primarily early in the year. And then if you are approved for the waiver, you need to submit the manuscript within 90 days of receiving that approval. And then finally, we have the trainee job board. This populates at different times throughout the year, just depending on the different application cycles going on. But definitely check out this board throughout the year to see any opportunities for your current career stage. So
Okay.
next, yeah, go ahead, Kat.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're just going to transition to tell you a little bit about some of the other ways that you can stay in touch with trainees throughout the year. So we have a Discord available. You can scan this QR code to go and check it out. This typically it ebbs and flows throughout the year, but is very lively during sleep itself as trainees are wrangling groups to go and socialize and do things. But feel free to check it out and to start conversations on there. People will post various things throughout the year, different opportunities that are available, and the like. So we have that as a great resource. We also have a co-working hour that David and I host every Tuesday. So it is at 12 p.m. Pacific time and 3 p.m. Eastern. And that is the current Zoom link for it. You should have received an email about it at the start of this year, I guess around January 5th. And we periodically send out emails through the society just to remind you that this is available. And the idea is it's just a co-working space on Zoom where we set intentions for what we want to try and work on for the hour, have a bit of conversation, and then serve as accountability buddies for whatever it is we're trying to get done. And then the last thing is, I hope many of you are aware that we have a podcast, the Sleep Research Society podcast. It is great. It is hosted by the highly charismatic Jessie Cook, and it's a great way to hear about different areas of sleep research that are happening. So definitely check out the podcast if you haven't already. And that brings us to the end. So thank you so much for paying attention. I'll pass it back over to David for any closing words.
Yeah. Thank you all for attending. I think now we can open it up to any questions that anyone has. Gabby, if you don't mind helping us moderate those questions.
Definitely. I think there have been several that have come through during the discussion, um, mostly about different event logistics and when we can expect things to be published on the websites and all those sort of things. Um, and I am in the process, while I'm here live, for the question that answers or that asks, excuse me, if postgraduate researchers would like to get involved and are they eligible to join one of the committees? And just to answer that or clarify that, yes, the SRS welcomes all members of the society, and we offer membership ranging from undergraduate student memberships to full members. And I would encourage you to check out our membership page on our website. Though, for any specific questions regarding the lovely presentation that David and Kat put together for you, please feel free to use the Q&A for any of that, and I'm happy to facilitate. Okay. Not seeing any at present. But I personally would love to take this opportunity to thank both David and Kat for their lovely discussion and introducing these events, which we're so thrilled to be able to offer at Sleep 2026.
Thank
Yeah,
you
we
so much.
can't wait to see you all there. Really excited to meet some of you who we don't know, and yeah, it'll be great.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for attending. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you at Sleep.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.